I wanted to continue that conversation, not only with transgender people, but just the whole LGBT community. And I just had a conversation with someone the other day, and gave me a whole bunch of different ideas. It was asking me questions about, like, for example, someone who's gay. When a mother is conceiving, if a mother is pregnant, finds out she's pregnant, and she already has these preconceived notions or just already has preferences on the sex of the baby, do you think that can affect the sexuality of the child after they're born?
That's an interesting question.
It's scientific, but you know what? I mean, I was looking up trying to see if there was actually an answer to that. People always, there's so many different answers of ways people feel like, I don't know, I think I was born this way, or I became this way maybe because of rape or some unfortunate circumstance like that. So there's no real answer yet, but the closest thing I could get where I saw an experiment was done where 14 women were watching a movie that was sad, and there was 14 other women watching a movie that was happy and made them laugh. And in the sad movies, the babies in the mom's belly didn't move at all. It was very still. And in the happy movies, you saw the arms moving. They used sonograms. Doctors used sonograms to watch the movement. So it shows that the babies are affected by mothers, emotions. So does a mother thinking about maybe, if say a mother wants a girl and she stays thinking about feminine things, and she ends up having a male, and the child grows up to be gay, you think that affects it?
Right. So I think the question is if the baby is socialized even before it comes out of the womb. That's interesting. I mean, they say if you there have been studies where they'll take children that are really young, and they'll have a little girl, but only give her boy toys and surround her with things that society says are for boys, and how that affects them growing up. So I guess
see, the only reason why I'm gonna say I have to disagree with that is because on both sides, I have a 7-year-old, as you guys know, and when I was pregnant with him, I did all kinds of things, and even after he was born, I never made him feel like playing with dolls or even makeup or whatever it was wrong, because of the fact that kids' imaginations get put into a box from a very little age, and that's why a lot of people have issues with transgender and gays and lesbianisms and all things like that, because from a very young age, boys are supposed to play with boy toys, and I've never done that to my son, and he's very boyish, you understand? Even now when I try to get him out of playing fighting games and shooting games, he's into everything that boys are expected to be into, even with, given the opportunity to dress up in my clothes or to put on lipsticks of his female cousins and have I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think kids are going to be who they are meant to be if you allow them to be who they're meant to be.
I agree with that. I think that I definitely would want to see more scientific research essence on what you brought up. I think that as far as sexuality and gender goes, it's something that you just know from a young age.
So you think that you're born that way?
I strongly believe that you were born a certain way.
Is it maybe because of the hormones? They might have more estrogen or...
Yeah, I feel like sometimes you just get the wrong amount of hormones in the wrong body. That's just how it works sometimes, and you correct those things later in life by getting gender reassignment surgery, by coming out as gay or lesbian or bisexual or whatever you want to be.
Right, adapting to how you feel despite how, you came out looking.
Yeah.
And see, it's such a sensitive topic, but how would you feel if your child told you that? How would you react to your child if they told you that they were gay?
I would be fully supportive. I'm someone who is bisexual myself. I've known ever since I was a young girl, little, I remember I'd get crushes on girls and guys. And I guess figuring that out. Yeah, when I was a little kid, I figured that out pretty quick. I mean, obviously I didn't know the right terminology for it at 6 or 7. When I got a teenager, you become more comfortable with it. And I think it's the environment you're raised in. My parents are very supportive of me. We don't talk about it a lot, but I would be comfortable bringing home a woman just as comfortable as I am bringing home my boyfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's just I've always tried to make my son comfortable with speaking to me. So if he said something like that, I would just want to make sure that he understands what it is, and explain to me why, are you sure? Just to get my head to maybe understand a little bit more, he understands. And if you're sure about it, I'm not sleeping with you, so it's not my... I've always said it. It's not my business what you do in your bedroom. You're my son. I'm going to, tell you that there's an increased risk of whatever if you decide to choose this. But other than that, it's just I want to make sure that you're positive and, this is what you're going to have to deal with. And then after that, it's whatever it is.
Well, actually, you guys, on a lighter note,